why do the European regimes think that continuation of the war, this war against Russia, is good politics, will keep them in power and keep themselves and their constituents in money? That's a different question, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the European position in terms of the ceasefire seems to be motivated by the calculation that, of course, a ceasefire and attempting to equate this to peace is something that would be impossible for Russia to accept. However, if they can get the Americans on board with this idea that the ceasefire is peace, then it would be ideal because the conflict would continue, but also they could sell it as it's the Russians who are against peace, and then again, then Trump can unleash his fury on the Russians instead of pressuring the Europeans to make any real concessions. But some of the other things the Europeans are calling for, though, sending troops, demanding reparations from Russia, continuing to talk about NATO expansion, demanding security guarantees, not for Russia, of course, but only for Ukraine.
Yes.
All of this just appears to be, still packed with a lot of self-harm, because when you're losing a war, you would assume there would be some efforts to, reduce some of these losses. However,
well, but you're right that these are tripwires, Glenn. They're tripwires to make it appear, just as you said, that the Russian side is responsible for the continuation of the war. The Russian side won't negotiate authentically and with goodwill. The Russian side first would not agree to the immediate ceasefire. Now, I think the Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, kept mentioning ceasefire at the last roundtable that the European leaders had in the White House. I think that was no longer the tripwire of, and we moved on to the meeting with Zelensky.